President Trump promised to clean up the VA. Is it happening? We talk with an expert today. Welcome to the Mike Broomhead Show.
Well, I got a message, I got a song. Can I get a witness? Tell me what's going on. I show the people I've been away.
VA whistleblower and veterans expert Paula Pedene joins my show today. We're going to talk with her in just a few moments, but we start our show off with something we call the Sweep. It's sponsored by our good friends at Zero Res Carpet and Tile Cleaning. Let's start off with President Trump and some comments he made before the Super Bowl when talking with Bill O'Reilly. Made a lot of noise across the country that I thought needed some clarification. If you missed what the president said, this is it.
Do you respect Putin?
I do respect him.
Do you? Why?
Well, I respect a lot of people, but that doesn't mean I'm going to get along with him. He's a leader of his country. I say it's better to get along with Russia than not. And if Russia helps us in the fight against ISIS, which is a major fight, and Islamic terrorism all over the world,
right?
Major fight, that's a good thing. Will I get along with him? I have no idea. It's very
He's a
possible
killer,
I
though.
won't.
Putin's a killer.
A lot of killers. We got a lot of killers. Why, you think our country's so innocent?
Do we think our country's so innocent? I got to tell you, that comment made some big noise, especially with families like mine. There is no way you can compare the behavior of any American leader with Vladimir Putin. This is a guy that's invaded other countries to make them Russian states. He is a killer. And so the president's backed away from that a little bit, and I think he's tried to clarify inside with what he meant. But I've got to tell you, it's comments like that that begin to divide people that have supported this president a great deal, especially the military. Let's go to some cabinet appointments and some clarification we're now getting. Betsy DeVos, exactly what we thought was going to happen, a 50-50 tie to be education secretary. Of course, the rules of the Senate, the tie broken by the vice president of the United States. So he votes in favor of Betsy DeVos and then swears her in as education secretary. Jeff Sessions has now been nominated and approved as Attorney General of the United States, but not before some controversy. Cory Booker said he had to testify against him. The NAACP said they were against it, even though they gave him an award for excellence. And then Elizabeth Warren. This is what she had to say and how it got shot down.
Mr. President.
They are.
Mr. President.
The majority leader.
The senators impugn the motives and conduct of our colleague from Alabama as warned by the chair. Senator Warren, quote, said Senator Sessions has used the awesome power of his office to chill the free exercise of the vote by black citizens. I call the senator to order under the provisions of Rule 19.
Mr. President.
The senator from Massachusetts.
Mr. President, I am surprised that the words of Coretta Scott King are not suitable for debate in the United States Senate. I ask leave of the Senate to continue my remarks.
Is there objection?
Object.
I appeal the ruling.
Objection is heard. The senator will take her seat.
There you have it. Now, Elizabeth Warren has been fundraising off of this. She's been trying to make as much political hay as possible. The fact of the matter is, Jeff Sessions, Cory Booker came out against him a little while ago, said he was honored to honor the people of Selma, the marchers in Selma, with Senator Sessions. So the vote came down. The only one voting present was Senator Sessions. One of the Democrats crossed the aisle and voted in favor of Senator Sessions. He is now the Attorney General. He's resigned his seat. That's the way it should have been from the beginning. The rest of this is politics. Elizabeth Warren is being a politician. There's people on both sides of the political aisle guilty of being a politician, but that's what you're seeing in this case. Let's look at the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, because now it's the travel restrictions that are in front of the Ninth Circuit. A 3-judge panel, one of the judges from Arizona was involved. 85 years old, was a Jimmy Carter appointee. At this point in the taping of the show, no decision has been made yet. But locally, when you look at Arizona, when it comes to the new guidelines, a woman named Guadalupe Garcia de Reyes from Arizona, the first person to be deported under the new guidelines, which are, if you are a convicted felon, you get deported. I don't understand how it could be any different. She stole someone's identity, she was convicted of it, and set for deportation in 2013. The fact is, If you are going to commit a crime, you're not separating families. She's separating families. That's who was doing the separation. If I got convicted of a felony and they put me in prison, you separate me from my kids and my grandkids? No, no, no. I did that on my own. So if we have got laws in place, they've got to be abided by. And we should be looking to let good people come here. Let's simplify our system so that good people can come be a part of the American dream. If you commit a felony, you just can't come in. And finally, in the headlines on the sweep, Phoenix ethics rules. The city of Phoenix have ethics rules and no means of enforcement. They've known it for 4 years. They've tried 3 times to put a commission together to investigate these rules with no success. So just so you know, the 6th largest city in the country and the largest city in Arizona has ethics rules for its members on the city council, no means of enforcement, and in the near future, no way they're ever going to. What a shock that is that Phoenix is doing just that. It's an incredible disservice to the people in Phoenix. They better get it right, and it's only going to happen if there's some public push to make it happen. Coming up in a few moments, Paula Pedene is going to join me. She's an expert on veterans. She's got something called the VisionWalk that she is doing. I love when she comes on the show. You're going to meet her next. But before we go to that, let me talk about my friends from Zero Res. The people at Zero Res have got a great product called Empowered Water. Your carpets are going to dry faster, they're going to stay cleaner longer, and through the month of February, they've got a great special, 3 rooms of carpet in your home, Zero Resified for $119. I love the product, you're going to love the people, and once you use them the first time, you will never use anybody else. So contact Zero Res for all of your carpet cleaning needs. No more soaps, no more chemicals, just great results. Clean carpets, dealing with a great company and community servants. We'll be back with Paula Pedene next. Welcome back to the Mike Broomhead Show. Whenever we have questions about the Veterans Administration and anytime we talk about the VA, we always go to our favorite whistleblower, Paula Pedene. Thanks for being back.
You're welcome. Nice to be here.
You are an Honoring Arizona Veterans board member.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
So Honoring Arizona Veterans is the group that puts on the Phoenix Veterans Day Parade.
Which is phenomenal.
Thank you. We work really hard at that event. It starts all year, and HAV believes in supporting that event to honor and recognize our veterans. That's right now our sole purpose. So it does take a year-round effort to do that.
Now, your story is well chronicled about the Veterans Administration when you were employed there. So I know that this is something close to your heart. Yes. Give us an update from what you're hearing. What's happening at the VA? Is it all bad still because we got such a low rating in the last inspection? What's happening there?
So at the Phoenix VA specifically, you know, I think we need to give the staff, the new staff, time to get in there and do what they need to do. I don't think they've had enough time yet. They're both still fairly new. I have heard very good things about the new Chief of Staff, Maureen McCarthy, and about the new Director, Rima Nelson. What I'm hearing from staff is that they listen, they're not looking to find scapegoats, and what they're trying to do is just get to the problem and resolve it. That's what I'm hearing from my sources. Are there still issues at Phoenix? Yes, there are. You have to remember, it was at the epicenter of the wait time crisis. We, Dr. Foote and I, tried to use all the internal channels, and the internal channels failed. The last thing we wanted to do was make it the media mess that it is today. So, but that was the only option we were given. You know, so when that happened, it becomes one that you really can't manage, and it becomes a media circus, and that's what's happened. And I'm saying that rightly so. You had people that were unethical leaders in there that needed to go. And that's what Sam and I did. We tried really hard to get rid of the unethical leaders that were deploying the wait time scandals. And from that point forward, Phoenix has had a very difficult time, director after director. The directors that have come in have had health issues due to the stress of the situation there. It's not an easy place to manage. Prior to his departure under the administration change, Sloan Gibson was going there and trying to rebuild morale. He recognized the importance of singling that facility out and trying to take care of it. So are they there yet? No. Are they working to get there? Yes. What can we do as a community, I think, is really the question that we need to start asking now. So, you know, they're hurting for doctors and nurses. If there's a doctor or nurse out there that would like to serve our veterans, I can tell you the passion of the staff has always been to serve our veterans first.
Right.
And to do it ethically and correctly. That's why you had the whistleblowers. We couldn't stand by and see what was happening to the veterans by leadership that, you know, wasn't in the right spot.
But is there any validity to the criticism that what they're doing is taking leadership that's been bad in one place and just kind of rearranging deck chairs as opposed to bringing in new blood that might make appropriate changes?
Well, I think the issue is in VA is that people, because of the negative media, which again is warranted, don't want to work there.
Okay.
So, you know, what they need to do, or what might be a helpful avenue, is for them to really do some measurement to see what the perception is across the country, have a benchmark of that perception, and then use public relations tactics, working with stakeholders, congressional, veteran service organizations, members of the media, and seeing what we can do together, collaboratively, to fix it. And I think that under the new administration, that's part of the focus. They're talking about, you know, some privatization and keeping the VA system and blending the model. They're not talking about, yes, they're not talking about ditching the model.
Right.
They're talking about blending. And I think that we need to focus more on that blend and how it looks. You have to remember, VA is phenomenal in many, many, many
Right.
areas. Number one, in mental health care. Psychiatry care, they beat everybody.
Right.
You know, number two, their nursing home care is phenomenal.
Which we've been there, and it is an
they're
amazing
just
place.
Great. And they take good care of them. They really do. You have people that don't want to leave. They have a certain amount of time there and they don't want to leave, you know, and they need to go out to the community for a variety of reasons. They do have phenomenal research that takes place through VA programs. And it's a phenomenal training residency. It's part of the,
Right.
you know,
The training for
medical
doctors.
training for doctors.
I know that you're a
So-
part of another project that I want to talk about, this Vision
Yes.
Walk. So I'm going to take a quick break. When we come back, just one more thing you've added to your plate that we're going to talk about. We'll be back with Paula Pedene here in just a minute. We are back. It's the Mike Broomhead Show, and with me is Paula Pedene. We've talked about the veterans, which you are so known for, but you are also a captain with the Warriors for Sight.
Yes.
And you've got a Vision Walk coming up. Tell us,
Yes.
first of all, explain why you're involved in this and what can people do and what is this all about?
So when I was in the Navy, I was diagnosed with a disease called retinitis pigmentosa. And what it does is it kills the photoreceptor cells. So it causes tunnel vision, just
Okay.
like this. So this is all I see. I can't tell you what's on the table here. Like I almost skipped
Okay.
this coffee cup,
Okay.
okay? But so the Foundation Fighting Blindness has been a leading researcher in trying to find cures for disease like mine, for macular degeneration, which is the #1 leading cause of blindness in this country, for you know, other retinal diseases and things. And in order to do this, for the 11th year in a row now in Arizona, they have what's called a Vision Walk, where hundreds of people get out there. We trek around Steele Indian School Park. It's probably the only day you'll see several hundred people with red and white canes
Right.
walking around a sidewalk, and guide dogs, you know, at this event. And it's a family-friendly event, and it's a wonderful cause to help raise awareness to find cures for diseases like mine that affect millions of people nationwide.
Are they making progress in finding a cure? I mean, what are the steps they've taken? What's happening?
Yeah, so some of the latest breaking research shows that there is a little camera that they have been able to implant in people that have completely lost sight. And what they're doing is they're only implanting implanting it in one eye, and then in that eye, and it's connected to a monitor, what the person is being able to see is not clear, like I see centrally, but shadows. So like it can outline a shadow of you, it can outline a shadow of the cameras, the table, and at least they have some perception through shadows and lights and grays that they have not had in years. That's one research study. Another research study is trying to implant stem cells into the retina and seeing if they will line up and take over for the dilapidated or dead cells that have died because of the disease itself, and seeing if that will work. And they're finding some stem cell rejuvenation in the retina that is helping. So there's all kinds of studies taking place. I have to tell you, Steve Wynn has my eye disease.
And I knew that, and he's, again, such a successful guy, and much like yourself, people see you in public, and unless you are holding the cane, would never guess that you are dealing with anything like that, because you've never let it slow you down.
Right. I'm still out there with my cane and doing the parade, you know, 45,000 people on the streets, and, you know, you learn to live with it. And it's kind of like, what's your resiliency like? Am I going to sit here and be depressed and kind of be a shut-in because I can't drive, I can't do this, I can't do that, and let that get in my way? Or am I going to say, hey, Mike, I need a ride to blah, 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 since you're the MC, you want to take
Anytime,
me?
absolutely, anytime. And normally when people ride with me, I scare the daylights out of them the way I drive, so you wouldn't have to worry about that. You'll be fine. Yeah, you'll be fine. So how many people are affected by the condition you have?
So the condition I have, at least 3 million. That's like the entire city of Phoenix being blind.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's how big it is. And that's only in our country, and that's only one disease. Okay? There are multiple diseases that are causing blindness. So it just depends. There's Usher syndrome, macular degeneration, the diabetes retinopathy, the glaucoma, and all of those need research and funding to...
If people want to get involved, how do they?
Oh, join us on the website. You can join Warriors for Sight. That's our name.
We'll
Warriors
make sure it's up on the screen for everybody.
Okay. Or you can donate online and you know, give a donation. It's 100% tax deductible. It is all for research, and that's what the foundation uses it for.
You are and always have been such an inspiration, and I love when you come down here. You make it just so much fun to hang out with you for a while. Thanks for doing this, what you're doing for the Warriors for Sight, what you're doing for veterans still with the and if people haven't been to the parade, if you've not been to the Veterans Day Parade, it will do your heart good to see the number of people that support the veterans in that parade. It is such a great time and such an iconic thing for Phoenix. And thank you for all of that, and thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be back. Welcome back. It's time for one of my favorite parts of the show. We call it From Arizona for America. It's our way to congratulate and thank the fine Arizona men and women who have recently graduated from boot camp and are now serving in our country's military. So please join me in honoring Airman Nicholas Hendren from Desert Mountain High School in Scottsdale, Reserve Airman Carissa Blyton from Kingman High School in Kingman, and Airman Jacob Lomu from Highland High in Gilbert. For a list of more of our friends and neighbors that are from Arizona for America, you can go to the Mike Broomhead page at aztv.com. We'll be back in a moment with Broomhead's Best and hashtag this. Don't go away. Time for my favorite part of the show. I call it Broomhead's Best. Kurt Warner and Larry Fitzgerald are Broomhead's Best this week. They share the honors. A couple of Arizona Cardinals doing us proud. First, Kurt Warner gets into the NFL Hall of Fame. Well-deserved, great quarterback, and a really good human being. Left the NFL because of injuries, well, potential injuries. Took a big hit in his last season. Left him a lot of money on the table and still had something in the tank, but maybe thought better of it for his health. Congratulations to Kurt Warner. Larry Fitzgerald, co-winner of the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award. He shares that with Eli Manning. A very deserving award for Larry. Congratulations to Larry Fitzgerald, because he deserves that honor. He is one great human being, as well as being a first ballot Hall of Famer when his career is over. Now we have something we call it hashtag this. It's what's burning up the internet. We are calling it hashtag GTFO. You have to see the video. We can't play it here. George Lopez, the comedian, Celebrity Theater, makes national news when a fan takes issue with a joke he cracked. The fan, I believe, gave him the finger and said some things, and he went off the deep end. If you don't know what GTFO means, watch the video. You don't want your kids in the room. It's not something that they're going to want to see. So it is, but it made big, big news right here in Arizona at Celebrity Theater. We'll be back in a minute to close out the show. Don't go away. Special thank you to Paula Pedene for being on the show this week. She is such a veterans advocate, working so hard, and her VisionWalk is something that's a great addition to the Valley. Been going on for a long time, trying to help people that are visually impaired find a cure. You can get involved. Make sure you go to her website. Next week on the show, the new police chief in the city of Phoenix, Chief Williams, is going to join us. I can't wait to talk with her. She came up through the ranks in the Phoenix Police Department as an officer to the command staff. She went to Oxnard, California to take the chief's job there to prepare herself to come home and lead the Phoenix Police Department through some trying times as they are understaffed. She is such a great guest. I cannot wait for you to meet her. If you are a Phoenician, you should be proud to have her as your chief of police. You're going to know why I love her so much as our chief of police. Great in the community, great with the rank and file police officers, and even great politically with the city council. Not an easy thing to pull off. You're going to meet Chief Williams next week. We're out of time this week. Want to thank you as always for joining the Mike Broomhead Show. Catch us online. We will see you next Saturday. Have a great week, everyone. God bless.
Get more of Mike Broomhead on Facebook, Twitter, and of course weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on News Talk 550 KFYI.